Initializing caution files. Please stand by.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is up, my cautious dude? Welcome back to another OpenRA video. I am currently live right now at twitch.tv/thecaution, and we are going to do our first double ref video in 2022. So I'm going to showcase pretty much how the build works, what you should do, what you can do, what you cannot do, and stuff like that. Because like I said, the last time this has been updated was 2019, and I feel like the academy is pretty old. I'm also joined by Gaseous. Gaseous, you are allowed to give your own advice as well if you feel like, caution, what the fuck are you saying? That doesn't make sense.
Welcome, YouTube.
Then you are allowed to do so. All right, let's get the show on the road. I'm going to use Kosovo because I feel like Kosovo has like the perfect eco to do like double ref and like your expansions and stuff like that. Because if I would take Scorched Earth, for example, it has way too much starting, or you can do like different variations of that. So anyways, let's go. So first of all, I spam H and F into the starting screen, the OpenRA logo, so that it deploys immediately when the time comes. Power plant, obviously, usually you want to go towards the double mine. You go racks and 2 refineries. Pretty much the same thing as you would do in the academy. You also have a look around where the oils are. In this case, you can be aggressive, you can go for the middle, but I usually like to go for this one. Normally you should go, there's a couple of things you can do. I'm gonna pause it here. There's a couple of things you can do. You can go 15 rifles into an NG, and you can also queue up a pillbox. That is pretty much what the briefing tells you, or the academy tells you, yeah, what the build order is. However, usually I don't like to do that, because if you are double ref, you are usually going to be the aggressor in the game. So the chances are pretty small that you will be all in or something like that. Both players are fighting for oils. However, there can be situations where you'll be grand rushed by someone. But if that is the case, you can just leave like 2 rifles next to a power plant and they'll pretty much be able to do the same thing as the pillbox would. Therefore, you should be able to queue up 18 or 19 rifles and an engineer without stalling.
Yes, very well.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
There is other stuff that I do in my POV matches, but I'm not going to explain that yet because, you know, this is just a basic.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that for now. Usually I like to, if you're going like 18 rifles straight ahead, I usually like to make the engineer after when I have 3 left, so that first of all you have 15 rifles that can put on the pressure. If you abuse defender's advantage, your 15 rifles will do perfectly, and your engineer is also backed up by 3 rifles who can safely escort it towards this position. For like, I don't know, there's people who like to snipe or flank your engineer early into the game. So usually I would send my engineer up here, for example. It makes it a lot more safe. It would be nice if I had reusable engineers on. Also make sure that your ref positioning, I could use my barracks up here to get a better ref placement up here, as you can see. It's always best to have your refs close to the mine, because obviously the ore around the mine will regrow. So for in the later game, you will have a better eco if you do that. However, because I chose my racks to be a bit more aggressive so I can get closer to the oil, I'm going to have a bit poorer ref positioning, but it's fine. After your 2 refs, you're gonna need a new power plant, you queue up a war factory, and you queue up an ore refinery. I usually like to do this build in phases. Like the first phase for me is PP, racks, ref, ref. The second phase is PP, war factory, ref. And then the third phase is service depot, PP, racks, racks, ref. And then you're pretty much done. You want to have the second PP. Usually you need the second PP to crawl to the other ore patch, which is obviously over here. And when you have your second refinery out, you want to build... usually the build says that you need 3 rockets, but you can spend a lot more than that. Also, if you're on a map with oils, like I said earlier in our ladder casts, you get extra cash from these oils, so you can make more rifles and rockets. The reason why I make more than 3 rockets is because if you're fighting against Soviet, if you have 4 rockets, APC can be two-shotted by 4 rockets, which is not the case if you go 3 rockets. So usually I go for 4. I go for 4, I queue up a couple of rifles, and I even go for a medic, because you can afford it. I believe you can spend, out of my head, I think 1800 after the second riff. Not entirely sure.
Ready.
I think so, anti-hunt.
Yeah, like 4 rockets is 1200, 4 rifles, and then a medic is, I think, is 1800. Alright, next up is your war factory placement. Usually your war factory placement, you want to have it close to your ore patches. Why? Because then your harvesters have the shortest travel time to the ore patch to get to work immediately. And you also want to keep in mind where you want to expand to. So the reason why I put my war factory over here is because I want to have my MCD over here to expand later on. So usually what you can do, there's a couple of options you can do. Usually they tell you in the official Academy build order, you go for a light vehicle and 2 harvesters. What you also can do is, because you're making a 3rd refinery, if you go for a harvester first into a light vehicle, you will be on 4 harvesters a lot faster, and you'll be able to spam your infantry. Because on the moment you have 4 harvesters, you can pretty much spam production.
Unit ready.
Besides pillbox, I think I would spam pillboxes on when I have my 5th harvest.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're at the 3rd phase, so that means service depot, PP, Rax, Riff.
Cancel.
Not enabled yards.
Unit ready.
There's a 5th harvester for the fort.
Unit ready.
Also, ideally, you want to have 3 harvesters in the beginning. 3 harvesters on your double ore patch, 2 harvesters on your single ore patch. If you're going to have 4 up here, because obviously the harvester is going to go for the shortest distance, so all of your harvesters are automatically going to mine on this patch. But if you do that, especially on this map, this patch will be completely mined out, and this one will still be pretty full. Anyway, service depot. Usually I like to place it close to my MCV, just because it's a key structure. You don't want to lose it, especially not before you have your second MCV out. Ideally, you don't want to lose it at all, in my opinion, because like you will lose your tank production. So yeah, it's pretty important. That's why I like to keep it close to my MCV.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
So we're on 5 harvesters as well. We can spam pillboxes.
Unit ready.
I'll do the queuing explanation into my custom hotkeys build.
Ready. Construction complete.
Speaks for itself.
Unit ready.
Raxes I like to play aggressively, a little bit more forward, so that they can just reinforce a lot faster to where you want to go. Like on this map particularly, you want to have control of the middle. The middle is just very crucial on this map. If you control the middle, it's very hard for your opponent to rotate his armies, because if you control the middle over here, you can pretty much, yeah, if you're in a dominant position, let's say you have control of this particular spot, you can rotate pretty easily to an expansion like this or an expansion like this from your opponent to pressure, and it's gonna make him hard for him to rotate his army, because he has to go all the way around all the time because you control this position.
Caution, camera died.
Unit ready.
Oh, camera died. Okay, thanks, man. There we go. Alright. Now, this is interesting as well. So your fort ref is obviously used, as you can see. Normally the timings are pretty correct, but because I'm doing some explaining, it's a little bit different. I usually go, the build says, after your fort ref, you go PP Rax ref, and then after that you're free to do whatever you want. However, I like to go for another ref, and then into PP Rax ref. Because usually you move out after this one, is what I like to do. You move out after this double mine patch. Don't forget to eco slide, very important, because this is completely mined out, and ideally you want to have 1 harvester per mine for the late game. So that means I can take a harvester over here and a harvester over here to mine out this patch. So as you can see, now I have a second refinery ready to go. Placement is a little bit off, but you get the idea. But that means your eco is gonna be freaking fantastic. And this works on pretty much any map, especially on maps, in my opinion, that don't have that much starter ore. I would usually like to go for 2 rifts. It is a little bit more risky for sure, but it can definitely work out. From here on out, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want. You can
Unit
go
ready.
you can go Radar Dome, you can go into Second War Factory. It depends a little bit on how your
Unit
situation
ready.
has gone. Like obviously we're at minute 8 into the game.
Unable to build.
Some
Unit
games can
ready.
already end at this point.
Unit ready.
So there's not a lot of reason for me to explain this build any further. But this is pretty much
Unit
what I would
ready.
do. And from here on out, usually you can like, you know, move out the main MCV.
Unit ready.
I like to place on this map some Raxes over here to get some vision. Because if you go
Unit
straight
ready.
for this ore patch with the
Unit
main, you're
ready.
gonna leave a
Unit
gap.
ready. Unit
And
ready.
that gap can cost you a lot.
Unit ready.
People can flank in
Unit
there and
ready.
stuff like that.
Unit ready.
So I wouldn't advise to
Unit
do that.
ready.
I feel like the
Unit
build
ready.
is pretty
Unit
similar
ready.
for Soviet.
Unit
However, there is
ready.
a small variation of a build
Unit
that I
ready.
really want to showcase. Raggle Champion Goat has been
Unit
using
ready.
this
Unit
pretty
ready.
much as a standard. So I'm gonna showcase to you
Unit
guys
ready.
that as well, which is the double light vehicle build. Yeah, this is
Unit
pretty much
ready.
double ref in 2022. Not a lot has changed, but I felt like some stuff definitely
ready.
has changed in terms like not using a pillbox.
Unit
You can
ready.
produce a lot more
Silos. Unit
than the
ready.
chart says early on.
Unit ready.
So yeah, feels like that needed some explanation. Hey y'all, caution here. This video is sponsored by HostEasy, your go-to service for renting servers on OpenRA. For $4.99, you can have your own OpenRA server with your own dashboard, customize your servers to your needs in terms of messages, passwords, admin rights, and more. But that's not all! HostEasy also provides servers for other games, such as Valheim, Valorant, Minecraft, and Satisfactory. I've used HostEasy for my Valheim world and it worked super smooth. The connection was great. I didn't have any issues playing with my friends on there. The best thing about it, in my opinion, is whenever there was HostEasy maintenance on certain servers, they would just transfer my world to another server temporarily, so I could just keep on playing without any interference from HostEasy. Wow, so easy! Go check out HostEasy today and get a discount with my code CAUTION. Now let's get back to the double ref tutorial. But this is usually the build that I use if I play allies.
Construction complete.
I'll just show you my
Construction
entire build
options.
so you can follow it what I do. At least on this map. So I'm gonna imagine that there's a
Construction
fucking
complete.
a player.
Options. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
I'm playing against Gaseous Binions finals.
Unit
Let's go.
ready.
Yeah,
This is what it feels like.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Cancel. Unit ready.
I want a bit more rifles. So I'm
Unit
sending this
ready.
rifle over Chief Waypoint.
Unit
Hopefully I can get a
ready.
snipe. There's a lot of people that just do
Unit
like me,
ready.
build 15 rifles, go for the NG, so that
Unit
means there's
ready.
gonna be a gap in their
Construction
reinforcement
complete.
line,
Unit ready.
and I might actually
Construction
get a
options
snipe.
ready. Unit ready.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. Acknowledged. Ready and waiting.
Unit
Agreed.
ready.
Very well.
Unit ready. Unit ready.
Ready and waiting.
Unit ready. Insufficient funds. Unit ready.
So as you can see, minimum stalling pretty much. Maybe I made like one too much, but I usually like to do
Construction
something else, but that is for more experienced players. I'm just showing you guys the standard double light vehicle build.
Structure captured. Construction complete.
At once.
Training. Unit ready.
Reporting. Of course.
This actually really sucks that I don't have reusable engineer.
Unit ready.
Just use one rifle ring. Predict this is NG.
Okay, this is imagine this has an
Unit
NG hat.
ready.
Ready and waiting. Of course.
I would use that to
Very
capture
well.
this,
Reporting. As
or at
you
least
wish.
try to.
Yes, sir.
See if he's
Agreed.
here. Like you have a decent amount of rifles.
Yes,
You have
sir.
18 or
Acknowledged.
19 even.
Unit ready.
Once again,
Unit
4
ready.
rockets.
Waiting. As you wish.
Unit ready. Cancel. Cancel.
And just like I said, man, just look at your money. If you think you can make an extra few rifles, just do it.
Training.
If you can't, like, you don't want to stall. You don't want to make sure that
Construction
you're
complete.
building,
Unit
especially
ready.
your building
Construction
production
options.
doesn't get slowed. This is the standard one, right? So the difference here is you go for an extra racks before your service depot. And then you just do service depot, PP, racks, ref. You also go for an extra light fuel, so you go light tank, harvester, ranger, harvester. You can also do like ranger, harvester, light tank, harvester. It depends what kind of light vehicle you prefer. The reason why we do an extra racks is one, we get faster unit production than your opponent. But the second reason, which a lot of people forget, is because you make an extra light vehicle, that means your buildings will be delayed. So in order to keep it synchronized, so that you can make your MCV the moment your service depot comes out, that's why we queue in the extra racks.
Unit ready. Construction complete.
I'm on 4 harvesters. I can spam production.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Usually the ratio is 15-5, what the academy tells you. You can go 10-5, but once again, that's a little bit more advanced. And I will showcase that to you guys in another video. Probably in the tips and tricks video.
Unit ready.
Ready. Go.
Construction
One small tip that I learned from Pink Todd
Construction ready.
is that I like to queue up my Raxes and service depot into one control group.
Unit construction complete.
Affirmative.
So I do service depot, my Rax, and my war factory, and I put that on control 0,
Unit ready.
so that
Unit
they all
ready.
waypoint to the same position that you want them to go. Why is this important? For example, sometimes what I see people doing is people remember that they
Construction ready.
can repair their vehicle with the D key, and it will go immediately to the service depot. But sometimes it's just sitting there. So if you get the service depot into your control group,
Unit
you
ready.
repair the vehicle, and then it will automatically, after it's been repaired, it's going to reinforce your army again, which is pretty important in my opinion.
Repairing. Unit prepared.
So
Selected.
I press 0 and I add all those as well. So
Unit ready.
right, there's the
Unit
MTV.
ready. Unit ready.
I have a bit more time, so I can probably set it up over here.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready. Unit ready.
And that is pretty much the other variant. Yeah, like the Ranger and Light Tank, they work so well together, and it doesn't really work for Soviets, I feel, because like APC and Flak don't really have that synergy, I feel.
Waiting orders. Knowledge. Reporting.
Unit
The
ready.
damage output is definitely low to like
Ready as
Yeah,
some stuff.
Unit ready.
yeah, I feel like Light Tank with Ranger is so fucking strong. Right? Ranger is very fast, it can snipe rockets, it gives great vision, and the Light Tank is just there to do the soaking. So them two combined can be really strong.
affirmative.
Unit ready.
Then you move out over here in terms of like Kosovo,
Unit ready.
and once again I went for 2 rifts just because I like that build.
Complete. Unit
Gives you
ready.
so much
Unit
eco early on,
Unit
make sure that you're not going to stall, and
Unit ready.
then you're good to go.
Unit
Then you can
ready.
just move out to main MCV and do your own thing from there.
Unit ready.
And that is pretty much the double light vehicle variant. I don't think I
Unit
forgot
ready.
anything
Complete.
particular.
Of course, nothing stops you from making 2 light
Unit ready.
tanks, for example, for double soaking damage and double
Yep.
crushes, or
Unit ready.
double ranger for
Unit ready.
better scouting on the map. I usually go double ranger with this build because
Unit
I really
ready.
love the vision range of ranger in the early game, especially on the big
Unit
maps
ready.
that requires a lot of
ready.
scouting, and you don't have
Unit
access to
ready.
black box or yaks. That
Unit
the
ready.
rangers are
Unit ready.
really
Construction ready.
powerful in the
Unit
early game.
ready. Ready.
So if you know how to
Unit
control
ready.
both of the vehicles at the
Unit
same time,
ready.
you can have
Unit
powerful
ready.
scouting all the game.
Unit ready.
Also, something that I like to do with this light vehicle combo, I always put my light tank on control group 1,
Yes, sir.
and I put my ranger on control group 2,
Unit ready.
because you're gonna use them so much in engagements, and they are so crucial in winning
Unit ready.
big fights. Like if you're fighting
Unit
against the
ready.
army, like light tank and ranger are so key
Unit ready.
towards
Unit
dealing
ready.
damage just because of their
Unit
vision
ready.
advantage. So sometimes
Unit
it's alright to
Unit
put them like
ready.
next to your infantry and
ready.
sacrifice a couple
Unit
of rifles
ready.
just to
Unit
keep the
ready.
ranger or light tank
Unit
alive for that
ready.
extra vision
Unit
advantage. Because you
construction
all know,
complete. Unit ready.
please don't
Ready.
forget this, but riflemen
Unit
have
ready.
more vision range than more attack
Unit
range than
ready.
vision range. So that means if you give them a support unit
Unit ready.
that provides extra vision, that means they'll have an advantage over your
Unit
opponent's
ready.
rifles if they don't have a vision unit. So that means you can, that's
Unit
why
ready.
dogs are
Unit
good,
ready.
that's
Ready.
why rangers are good
Unit
early
ready.
game, any light
Unit
vehicle can
ready.
provide that,
Unit
and that's why
ready.
dogs in the
Unit
very
ready.
early stages of the game for Soviets are so powerful, because dogs have more
Unit
vision
ready.
than a rifleman. So keep that in mind.
Unit ready.
Anyways, that's about it for this video.
Unit
Hope you guys
ready.
liked. If you didn't, well, tough luck. That's all I got
Unit
for you. So
ready.
you know, there's nothing else
Unit
to get.
ready.
Thank you guys for the support. And
Unit
yeah, if you have any
ready.
questions, leave them in the
Unit
comments
ready.
below, and I'll try
Unit
to answer
ready.
them as easy as I
Unit
can.
ready.
Thanks a ton for
Unit
watching.
ready.
Don't forget to stay cautious,
Unit
dudes,
ready.
and I'll see you next time.
Battle control terminated.
Hey, we did a YouTube video on stream.
Wow.
I know, man. My throat is fucking dry as fuck right now. That was good. Yo, Rain! Thank you for the prime, dude. Holy shit. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it. Man, this was so easy. Hope you guys learned something from that as well. I'll edit the YouTube video a little bit so I can show like the build chart from the academy. But I felt like when I was... The reason why I wanted to make this video, in my opinion, is because when I was learning this game, the charts did help me. But when I started casting, I noticed that so many people were doing different shit. Like, they were building more riflemen, or they weren't queuing up the defense. I was like, wait, why? Why? I had so many questions and they all felt like unanswered. And I had to learn the hard way. I had to figure it out why. Like, for example, I always did 15 rifles. And I got destroyed by people who went 19 rifles, just because you can. Like, if you don't build the defense, you can. I was always losing those engagements, which results in losing your oils most of the time, which means your opponent has more money. Stuff like that, you know? And I was like, damn, this frustrates the fuck out of me.